In today's video, I'm going to talk about another classic question that gets asked a lot during any Amazon interview, that is, tell me about a team project that you worked on. So in the first part of the video, I'm going to help you to brainstorm for your own stories with some tips and tricks. And the second part of the video, I'm going to present you with two complete examples on how to go about answering this question. As you'd expect from a company the size of Amazon, teamwork is a topic that pops up in pretty much any job interview, and the qualities that the interviewer is looking for depend by the role that you're applying for. For example, in the case of a project manager, they'll be looking for your leadership, decision making, working under pressure, deadlines, and of course your people skills. And the main reason for mentioning these examples is because answering any of the above can also be used as an answer to our original interview question. And this should make it also a lot easier to brainstorm your own stories. Where is the best place to look for such stories? In your CV, just go through all your past experiences and, using the above questions, try to find some relevant stories. First, avoid putting the blame on anyone during the interview, because that's not likely to help you showcase any of your skills. And in fact, it might have the opposite effect of raising some serious question marks about your people skills. Second, while talking about the team experience, try to be specific. Don't just say my team and I, but focus on your specific contribution to that project. Number 3. While some recommend you to keep your answers under 1 minute, I find it particularly difficult to include all the necessary details to make it a great story, so I would very much encourage you to raise that limit to whatever makes sense to you. Fourth, Amazon is well known for their assertive culture, so if you have the chance, you should show in your story that you're not afraid of failure. Number 5. Regardless if your story talks a major failure or a success, you should always end it on a positive note. And number 6, no one likes listening to boring stories, so you should literally go above and beyond to create a compelling one. During a previous role as a technical project manager for whatever outsourcing, I was in charge of small teams of 3 to 5 international developers working remotely. And I remember that at the beginning of one such project, I had a particularly shy but well-qualified team lead. So I thought this would be quite a serious problem, a serious threat to the well-being of this project. So I decided to schedule a one-on-one with them. So during this one-on-one, I did my best to explain to them the importance of communication during this project, but I really felt like they weren't really listening to what I was saying. So then I decided to go a bit further and to ask them to tell me how they would react to specific scenarios. And as the conversation evolved, things got so intense that they actually even started crying at some point, so they were actually quite close to leaving this whole project. But fortunately enough, the next day they realized the importance of over-communication, especially during this in this remote setup, and in fact they ended up being one of my longest-standing project managers for about 8 years. This was a good answer mainly because I talked about a specific situation in which I had to employ a more decisive approach to a pretty serious communication problem, and I believe this is a good example to showcase one's project management skills. You may also notice that I employed the STAR format when answering this question, as I do with most of my examples. Notice here that the main focus on the story was on the action part of it, and to give another example, if I would have talked about a failure story, I would have gone a lot quicker to the action part and rather focused on the results. The reason for this being that it's always a good idea to focus on your strengths here. Also, I wonder how could anyone tell such a story in under 1 minute while keeping it a compelling story. And I did try to keep it as short as possible. I did not include many other relevant details of the situation, simply because that I wanted to invite for follow-up questions. And last but not least, this story did actually end on a positive note. Let me tell you about the project that I led around 4 years ago. We were a team of 5 people on 3 continents in charge to develop an HR management system. And despite our rather limited resources, we managed to deliver enterprise-grade software features that would be considered as innovative even by today's standards, such as a structured hiring and analytics throughout the employment lifecycle. This website actually at least doubled in activity year to year and even quadrupled at some point, and there were around 200 US hiring managers using it, and it was managing hundreds of thousands of people. I kept this example brief because I think it was the best way to showcase my strengths. Had I started talking about more details, how the project went and how it ended, I believe it would have had a serious chance of turning into a boring monologue. So this example, in my opinion, is a great one that asks for follow-up questions, which is always to your advantage. However, please remember that you should only start removing detail from your story only after you have a proper story built. And last but not least, and I really have to say this once more, that great stories take time. It takes time to build a script, it takes time to build your acting. So be prepared to invest a serious amount of time into this process. So I hope you found this information useful, and if you're looking for more team-related examples, you can check out my previous videos. Also, if you found this video boring, you can hit that dislike button, but otherwise, if you find it interesting, please hit like and consider subscribing to my channel for more. Thank you very much for watching.